get started. Maybe. All right, there we are. All right, let's get started. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, friends. This is Tara with Tarabeth Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in mid-Missouri. Oops. And today we're going to do a card. This is a Gatefold. Hey, Rosie, thanks for joining. Yeah, if you're on tonight, give me a shout. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, if you'll do hashtag replay. That way I catch out when you guys watch this. So today's card is a double Gatefold card. We are using the Floral Delight DSP, the Floral and Gingham Vellum, I think Floral and Gingham Delight Vellum, as well as the Stampin' Die set that goes along with that. So it's a beautiful gate card. Pop it open, and it opens up to create a beautiful, stunning birthday card. So this is a pretty easy card. Not a whole lot to it. Hey, Angie, thanks for joining. Not a whole lot to it, but if you ask me, I think it's stunning. The yellow is one of my very favorite colors. Orange is probably my favorite, but yellow comes in a close second. So I think it's absolutely stunning. This suite is beautiful. Thanks, Angie. I'm glad you'll like it. Yes, I love Gatefold cards as well. So we're going to get started with some stamping first, I think. All right. So I'm going to bring out, I'm going to set that over to the side, an envelope. And then there's not a whole lot of stamping that goes along with this one. I'm going to bring out a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white. That's got a little sticky yuck. Okay. On it. Hey, Mary, thanks for joining. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to start out. Let's do the sentiment first. So this is going to be Old Olive. And I am using the sentiment actually from Birthday Beautiful Butterflies. This time to celebrate. I think that goes perfect. For birthdays, actually, this isn't a birthday card. This is a lots of love card. So now, maybe we're going to change the sentiment up. Lots of love. Well, you know what? This could be perfect for, we're going to regroup. This is going to be a engagement or wedding card. There we go. That's what we're going to do. I guess I was doing birthday today and I changed midstream. I did the inside first. So we're going to ink that Time to Celebrate from the Beautiful Butterflies with some Old Olive. And we're going to stamp that right in the center. And then I'm going to shut my ink up. And we're going to do some two-step stamping with Lemon Lolly and with Daffodil Delight. Now, when I do my two-step stamping, what I kind of do, especially with a set of flowers like this, is I put them on my block and then I compare them to the cover. So this is the way this one goes. So there's that one. And then I'm going to flip this around. Nope, I got it the wrong way. And I'm going to set that one like that. So I make sure that I have my stamps set up exactly the way they are so I don't get kind of lost. So two-step stamping. So that's the way we're going to go. I'm going to start out with some Daffodil Delight. I always do the darkest color first. Okay. So we're going to put that right there. We're going to flip it around. We're going to put one right there. And then we're going to, I'm going to leave that block the way it was. And then I'm going to ink up my envelope. Okay, we'll shut this and move that to the back. So now I'm leaving this stamp the way I had it set up. And so before I ink it up, I'm just going to kind of look and see how I have it stamped so that I make sure that I have it orientated just correctly. So we're going to ink that up with Lemon Lolly. So you can do one color, and when you do the background stamp, you can always do a second generation. So, you know, inking it, stamping it, and then, or you can use a darker ink like what I'm doing here. So I'm going to line that up. Make sure I have it just so. And then press. And now we're going to turn it around and do the same thing, making sure it all lines up with those dark outlines, and then give it a nice stamp. All right. So that's all we need with the yellow. Now let's pull out this pecan pie, and we're going to do a couple of different stampings with that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that die cut out. We will go ahead and ink this up, the Lots of Love. Now this is a much smaller sentiment than this die cut needs. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do to fix that. We're going to ink that up with that pecan pie. And then we're going to pull out our stem. And before I place it, I'm just going to kind of look and see how I want this orientated before I ink it up. Kathy, thanks so much for joining. I'm glad you liked today's card. It is, this set is so stunning. Okay, we're going to give it a nice little mark there. We're going to pull out our, make sure we've got it lined up perfect. There we go. And then I'm going to twist it and do one last one. Hopefully my head's not hanging out over there. Oops, that one went a little over, but it'll be okay. All right, then last, we're going to add the leaves, and that's going to be with Old Olive. So let's look and see. So it always helps, once again, when you're doing these piecings, to compare it the way it is on the cover, so you kind of know the orientation, so you're not just flipping and flopping and turning and doing all sorts of things. So right there is about how we want it. So we'll go ahead and ink that up really well with our Old Olive. Give it one quick stamp. Ooh, that looks good. We're going to do the same thing over here. And then I'm going to flip it. Flip that basic white over. And there we go. All right, so there is our, thank you, Rosie, for reminding everybody to subscribe. So that's all of the stamping that we're gonna do. So I'm gonna go ahead and move my stuff over here, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with this die cut first. I'm bringing out my mini cut and emboss, and I am pulling my die from the Delightful Wishes set. So we're just using this die right here. I've already used it once to die cut the white. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring this out so you can see. How far over do I need to bring it? There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up and try to give myself about the same amount of space as what from the E that I have to the L. So that's pretty close. I'm going to set it right there. And I don't normally tape these bad boys down, but on a live, we're going to. So I'm going to just bring out a little piece of Post-it note tape. And I'm going to go ahead and set it down and get it cranking through here. All right, I'm going to set that out of the way. We'll pull this up. Now see, I didn't have it perfect, so it cut off a little bit at the top. So we're going to redo this one because I can't stand that. And looky here, the power of online. I already have one made because I made one earlier and had to take a photo of it. All right, so let's try this again. Make sure, there we go. I want to make sure that doesn't flip-flop around. It goes right in the grooves. There we go. No worries. I'm glad you like the card, Amy. Thanks for joining. All right, now we'll pop this off. And yes, that looks a little bit better. The sentiment's a little crooked, but that's fine. We'll make it work. You guys don't want me to see me do it a third time. So we'll set that to the side, and now we're ready to assemble our card. So what I have here is I have a piece of standard card base, 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to bring out my Simply Score tool, and I am going to score at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. So that's just that line just past the 6.5, or before the 6.5. Giving it nice score lines. So this is a great way, if you're new to fun folds, to create a fun fold if you want to do a little extra. And they're super easy. So just fold that in half, and what's going to happen when I fold this side is it's going to meet in the middle. So you can see just meets right there in the middle. Okay. So I have a piece of Old Olive. I have 2 pieces of Old Olive actually, measuring 5 3/8 by 2. And then I have coordinating DSP from the Stampin' Up's Delightful Floral Delights. So I'm just going to take some Stampin' Seal and adhere it to the Old Olive. Just creating a nice little mat on each side. And then we're going to do the same with this one. And now when we, oh, hey Karen, thanks for joining. You're not late. It's all good. And then I'm going to create this nice mat on this side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure, because this is kind of a directional pattern, when you cut it, you need to make sure that you cut it correctly. The nice thing is it doesn't matter if you go upside or down. You know, I can flip this around. Now, if I had not been careful, I would have cut it and it wouldn't have matched, and it would have done this funky thing. So make sure that when you're cutting, that you're paying attention to what you're doing if it's a directional pattern. That's why with gatefolds, it's usually good to use kind of a random pattern. So I'm just creating that nice card front. Now, because this is a fun fold and it's a gatefold, we've got nice pretty mats on everything. You'll want to add that extra postage because it's going to be over that 1 ounce marker most likely. All right. Now I have a piece of 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 that we're going to adhere the inside to. Just using a little bit of seal. Sliding that right there. And there we go. Now, we'll put this on the inside of the card base. And so that's really all there is to the fun fold card base. Pretty easy, pretty simple. I got gunk on that. There we go. If you don't have one of these gummy erasers, you need to get one. If you need to know where to get one, send me a message and I'll tell you where to grab one of those. Okay, now with gatefolds, they do kind of pop open like that. So with this one, I did a belly band, and this is where I put the bulk of my decoration. So what I do when I'm doing a belly band is I line I've got a piece of 1 1/4 inch by 11 piece of Old Olive, and I'm just gonna line my card up with lining it up on the grid paper, and then I'm lining my belly band to the paper so that everything is straight. And now I'm going to fold and kind of give a crease. I don't want to get it super tight, but I also don't want it super loose, because then if you do, it doesn't fit in the envelope well. I'm going to pull that around, and that's going to give us enough space that we can fold. And that's not what I want. I want some Stampin' Seal Plus. So Stampin' Seal Plus, just putting a little bit on here. All right, here we go. I'm going to fold that and hold it tight kind of around the sides so that it's definitely lined up and it's not all wonky. All right, now I'm going to take another piece of seal with another sheet of DSP. I'm using a different pattern, just like a nice subtle pattern for this, and put it across there, and that's going to create our belly band. Now we're going to put this together. Okay, so this set is available in the January to April mini catalog. So this is something that I don't know if it's going to stick around for very long. You definitely want to get the full suite because it's absolutely stunning. We do have a sneak peek for demonstrators. Starts on Tuesday. We'll get to see March's upcoming online exclusives. If you want to get a good look at that stuff, give me a shout. There's a way that you can get in there, and then you can also order as early as Tuesday. Okay, I'm taking a little bit of liquid adhesive, and on a piece of Daffodil Delight that I cut with the largest circle from Stylish Shapes, and then I also cut a piece of vellum with the same die cut from the delightful Floral. What is it? Floral and Gingham. Yep, there we go. So when you're working with vellum, be careful. You want to put the adhesive somewhere that's going to be covered up. So you'll notice I don't have adhesive on a lot of this, but you don't need it. It'll hold tight. Okay. Now I'm going to take some Stampin' Seal and put it across that belly band. And that's what's going to give us some strength here. All right, so there's that going. So yes, there's an amazing joining special you don't want to miss out, and you would get to see all of this new stuff. You could add it to your starter kit. You can either get 2 packages of Stampin' Right markers, which are pretty cool if you've not used them before. You get 2 packages, so that's 20 Stampin' Right markers, and then $125 worth of stuff of your choosing, along with free shipping. And that alone is worth its weight in gold. All right, I adhered a flower that I fussy cut out of the Floral Delight DSP. And I'm taking a couple of dimensionals and just adding them to the card front. And don't forget, this is Celebration, so you get all that goodies too. So lots of good stuff coming. All right, I'm going to lift that up. And just a little bit's going to hang out. So I fussy cut these out with my paper snips because you guys didn't want to watch me do that. Okay. Where's my die? Where's my die? There's one piece. Oh, it's already in one piece. Okay, so I did this ahead of time. I die cut Wishings with the 2 dies from the Delightful Wishes die set. And I cut the outline, the big fluffy one, the outline area with, I guess it's the bubble part, with pecan pie. And then I took an adhesive sheet and I added that to the back of a piece of Pool Party. And I die cut this thin outline, I guess this is the outline, the script side of it. I went ahead and adhered this because I didn't want to fight with this on camera because I hate doing that. And you have to be very careful with these little eyes. So the adhesive sheets don't work really well with the eyes because it's hard to get the backing off of that. So I did adhere these with just liquid adhesive. But this, we're gonna line up right there. And it looks like part of it's going to need a little bit of dimensional. So let's do that. So yes, if you have questions about the starter kit, reach out to me. A pretty amazing deal. All right, I'm just cutting a small piece of dimensional to go along here. And it looks like it needs to go along in between this G and the N. So just making sure it's not hanging out there. So what I do sometimes with these foam adhesives, these dimensionals, is I poke the sides if I feel like it's going to show. Now I'm going to add some liquid adhesive just in a couple of random spots on this sentiment. There we go. Probably need some at the end too. We're going to flip it and let it sit. There we go. It's going right there in the center. Now, hopefully I didn't lose it. We're going to use tweezers on this guy. Hey, Laura, thanks for joining. We're doing an easy gatefold card tonight. All right, the lots of love. So I need to go in and change my blog post. This isn't a birthday card. This is an engagement or wedding card. All right, there we go. Now, the last thing we're going to do with the card is we're going to pull out these tiny bee trinkets. I love these. I think I've gone through 2 containers of them already. Now, everybody has a different way of adhering them. A lot of people use, yeah, I'm glad you could join me live as well. A lot of people use liquid adhesive. I don't love liquid adhesive. I do love these glue dots though. Now, the bee is a little bit on the small side, so I like to fold them in half. So I'm going to pick that up with my dimensional. I've got it folded in half, and I'm going to stick it right there. And normally I do everything in the odd numbers because that's what I like finds pleasing. However, 3 was too many and 1 was not enough. So we're going 2 this time. All right, turn my bees so that I've got the long side there. And now I can pop that up, stick that down, and stick that down. All right, there's today's card. Stunning, stunning. Let's celebrate. Lots of love coming up in the upcoming year. We're already a month into it. I can't hardly believe it's already February. All right, I'm going to add a little liquid adhesive to the back of my envelope. And this is a non-Stampin' Up envelope. I'm waiting for my order to come in. I can't stand it. I don't have any envelopes. I have about 10 packages of Very Vanillas. So I got caught without my basic white envelopes. So I found these to use in the interim. All right, there's today's card. Thank you so much for spending part of your Sunday night. Oh, Katie, Kathy, I'm glad you like the color. I'm glad everybody loves it. Thank you so much for spending part of your week with me. If you need any help, don't hesitate to message me. You guys have an awesome week. And oh, next week is Super Bowl. I will not have my regular 7 p.m. slot, but I'm going to try to jump on at 1 o'clock. So mark your calendars, 1 o'clock next Saturday or next Sunday. Have an amazing week. Thanks.